it with music, beautiful music.
Hello, I'm Fred Miller, and this is yet another one of my lectures in song. Before we launch into the saga of the city of cities, New York, New York, a little bit of information about my humble roots in a little small, tinky little town called Albuquerque, New Mexico. 200,000 population when I first showed up. It did grow. But it was sophisticated, cosmopolitan enough to boast a wonderful classical piano teacher who really familiarized me with Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms, and that included all the history and the biographies of all the great composers. And I was into classical music in a big way until right on my 13th birthday, the Beatles arrived in America, and then suddenly my musical tastes were shared now, sort of equally divided between classical music and the great rock songs of the 60s. And that went on through high school until the summer after I graduated, when I hitchhiked with a friend from New Mexico to the Woodstock Festival. I'm even in the poster. I'm very prominently a skinny version of myself. But that was it for rock music. You know, history has shown that was the peak of the rock age. And I really wasn't interested anymore. I was due to go to college that fall. I went very briefly, then left, got a VW bug, toured the country a little bit, finally settled in Greenwich Village. And at some point, somebody gave me an album of Ella Fitzgerald singing Cole Porter. And here I am, the world of Gershwin, Porter, Kern, Rogers, Berlin, Fred Astaire, Judy Garland, Ethel Merman, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby. And I came up with the idea of a lecture in song, each one being a profile of a great personality or some aspect of American popular music. Well, I started with 6 programs initially, and now to date I have 75 different lectures in song, each one described in detail at fredmillermusic.com. The program here falls under the category of places, and it's a place like no other. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York. Well, the stray to the heart of New York is to go to the very heart of our civilization, really. It's really as we have known it all our lives. New York was the place. Wall Street, the Skyline, Broadway, the Lower East Side, Miss Liberty, Ellis Island, the Empire State Building, Park Avenue, Harlem. Names, places, sites like no others. New York was the engine that really drove the 20th century, and made it the glory of our civilization. H.G. Wells said, "To Europe she was America, to America she was the gateway to the earth, but to tell the story of New York would be to write a social history of the world." Well, we're going to tell the story of New York here in song and anecdote and personal recollection. It's been painted, it's been written about and sung, of course, in 1,001 different songs. 1,001 different songwriters have found it. New York was their muse. There's so many facets, and colors and angles and moods, it's so many million people going this way, that way. I remember my very first visit to New York when I was 6 years old, and I said to my father, I said, "Gee, they must have a wreck here every day." And he said, "They have hundreds of wrecks here every day." Well, we're going to start romantic and cheerful, quiet and light, and we're going to get edgier as we go on. This is New York after all, but this is mythical, magical, magnificent, disturbing, frightening, exhilarating, overwhelming, And, of course, we have to get specific. When we say New York, well, da-da-da-da-da, the Bronx and Staten Island, too, not those two. We'll go to Coney and eat bologna on a roll, not Brooklyn. We'll go to Yonkers, where true love conquers in the wild. Well, that leaves one, and it is the one. We'll take Manhattan, the Bronx and Staten Island too. It's lovely going through the zoo. It's very fancy on old Delancey Street, The subway charms us so when balmy breezes blow to and fro. Tell me what street, compares with Mott Street in July. Sweet pushcarts gently gliding by. The great big city's a wondrous toy, just made for a girl and boy. We'll turn Manhattan into an Isle of Joy. Oh, sorry for the noise, sorry for the din. New York, New York, it's a hell of a town. We got one day here and not another minute to see the famous sights. We'll find romance and the danger waiting in it beneath the Broadway lights. Well, we've hair on our chests, we like it the best of the nights. Sights, lights, nights. New York, New York, a hell of a town. The Bronx is